99% of the marketplace, sales candidates that are actively looking for new opportunities, they don't wake up looking for a new opportunity and go, you know what I want to find? I want to find a door-to-door commission-based sales opportunity where I have to self-generate and close my own deals. And the reason it's important for you to understand that is you need to know going into the recruiting process that 99% of the marketplace is not interested right now in your opportunity. And therefore, you actually have to get good at the recruiting process, which means you need to create high volumes of candidate leads in your recruiting process. You have to get good at screening through hundreds of people quickly to find the best people to get in front of. And then you need to get good at selling your opportunity to actually get people excited about your mission, your vision, your values, your industry, your company story, the plans for growth in the future, the compensation plan, the career path, all of those things, so that they actually get to a place where they're like, hey, I'm interested in working for you. And then finally, you need to get good at understanding who to hire. And really, that's what this training is going to be all about. You understanding as a business owner who's open or who could be open to your opportunity, how to recruit them into your opportunity, and how to retain those reps, resulting in the sales production, which is obviously one of the biggest reasons you're building a sales force, is so you can have a revenue machine that you can predictably scale. So for most businesses that are interested in scaling a door-to-door sales force, they go into the recruiting process, ideally looking for already proven people within their industry that are successfully selling their products and services today, because they assume that if I get those kind of people, the training and management aspect of building our organization will be much easier. And there's an aspect of that that's obviously true, but it's important for you to understand that if you're only looking for industry reps that are successful right now, then you naturally need to be in the top 10% of sales forces in the country. And what I really mean by that is the top 10% of sales forces that are even open to door-to-door sales, or even more specifically, top 10% of sales reps who have door-to-door sales experience in your industry. Well, in most cases, they're already happy making money at another company, and even if they're open to taking another opportunity, they're smart and they understand what to look for, so they're going to proactively seek the top 10% of sales forces, or just simply start their own company. Let's take solar as an example. Let's say that I'm an experienced solar sales rep, and last year I made $180K, and I was supposed to transition into sales leadership, but the owner lied to me to get me on board to their organization, and I've recently found out that I'm going to probably be in the sales rep position over the next 1 to 2 years, and therefore I'm open to new opportunities in the marketplace. Well, in that case, I've been in solar for a while, because last year, the fiscal year, I made $180K plus. Because of that, I've become more familiar with the industry. I know the top brands and organizations, and I can better seek out where the best opportunity lies in the marketplace. And let's pretend that those top opportunities, those top 10% of organizations, are opportunities A. And they're the ones that have 20, 50, 100 plus reps that are making six figures plus hundreds of additional reps. They have tons of stores across their organization nationally with offices all over the country where reps came in and transitioned into sales leadership. They've built a team under them, and they've experienced this amazing growth in their career. And on top of that, opportunities A, they have a setter program. Those setters are self-generating leads for closers. There's also training pay in the first 90 days as I come on board, so there's a little bit more security. And on top of that, their employer and their customer-facing brand is amazing. And let's compare that to the opportunity B, or maybe there's 0 reps, or maybe a few reps, or even up to 10 sales reps, and maybe 0 and up to a couple reps actually seeing success. The online brand is kind of wonky. They have a few reviews, a couple of them suck. There's no employer brand, so I don't know what their past employees have said about them. So really, there's less proof at face value about that organization in their opportunity. And on top of that, it's just an A to Z, D to D sales position where the reps are responsible for self-generating and closing their own deals. Now, if I'm a top 10% salesperson and I'm looking at opportunities B and A, well, obviously 9 to 10 out of 10 times, the proven top 10% sales rep is going to go with opportunity A, because their confidence in them personally seeing success in that organization is exponentially higher than opportunity B. To use myself as an example, if I were to go look for a door-to-door sales opportunity right now, I know 5 companies that are on our client list. We've served over 1,300 companies, and there's only 5 of them that I think of that I would reach out immediately to learn about their opportunity. Now, that doesn't mean that the other hundreds of organizations in the door-to-door sales space don't have good opportunities, but I just know confidently these 5 companies, and there's probably more, I know confidently these 5 companies have the best sales programs, the best opportunities, the best brands, the most successful sales reps, the most money in the bank, and so on and so forth, therefore giving me confidence that I'm personally going to see success there. And the reason I explain all this is not to discourage you, but to give you the proper expectations as you go into the recruiting process, because it's the quality of your opportunity in your sales program that attracts the best people in the marketplace. Now, you can get there over time, and that should be everybody's goal, because once you are a top 10% sales force, recruiting and retention gets exponentially easier, and it's a beautiful place to be. So with that said, the natural question for you, assuming you're not a top 10% sales force today, well, how do I actually predictably recruit and retain door-to-door sales reps? And the answer is that you get better at everybody else in your marketplace, in your industry, at recruiting the other 90% of the marketplace that's out there. And what's really cool is when you actually get good at the recruiting process, like we'll talk about in this training, as you're cycling through that other 90% of people in the marketplace, you will find diamond in the roughs that come on board your organization that are actually top 10%ers. But unfortunately, recruiting those type of quality reps is not a predictable thing. So with that said, let's dive into something that I call the 10-30-60 rule. See, the 10-30-60, it results into 100. And I'm talking about 100% here. So the 10 is the 10% that we've been talking about. It's the top 10% of sales reps. It's the reps that everybody wants, regardless if you're the top 10% of Salesforce or if you're the small business owner. The middle 30% in the 10-30-60 rule is what we call the average Joe. Now, with that said, you can't take an average Joe and make them a top 10% salesperson over time, but that's assuming you have quality sales leadership training and management processes. But that middle 30% is the one that we're going to focus on in this training. That average Joe sales candidate is the person that aligns with your mission, vision, values. They'll show up with a good attitude and consistently do the work that you lay out for them. And it might be obvious, but the other 60% are the people that we ideally transition out of the recruiting process before we bring them on board. And or if your recruiting systems are not dialed enough, you can transition them out in the first 1 to 4 weeks in your onboarding process. And so we have the top 10% of candidates, we have the middle 30% average Joes, and we have the bottom 60% who are going to transition out of the recruiting process or out of the onboarding process early, so they're out of sight, out of mind. See, that middle 30% and 90+% of the cases is not going to be familiar with your industry and probably even door-to-door sales. And this opens up the recruiting opportunity to you and allows you to present something unique in the marketplace that they haven't considered maybe in the past that will actually allow them to hit their personal, professional, and financial goals. And that's the beauty of commission-based sales. It really is the best opportunity in the marketplace, but a lot of people don't fully understand it. And what this does is it opens up the recruiting opportunity for you to get a bunch of these average Joes into your recruiting process, allowing you to present something new and unique in the marketplace that maybe they haven't considered in the past, an opportunity that will actually allow them to accomplish their personal, professional, and their financial goals. And that's what's really important to them. They need to understand that whatever those things are, they can be done within your opportunity. And on top of that, of course, they need to have confidence in your culture, your industry, your leadership team, the comp plan, and the career path. And all these things together, which we'll dive more into in a little bit, will result in you being able to predictably recruit average Joes, which again are the type of people that will show up and do the work with a good attitude and maintain quota, and even for some of them turn into top 10% reps later.